for the hurting. All right, my name is Okuchi Ekong. I'm in command of this program today, Solace for the Hurting. And this is a program, as always, we share testimonies of God's faithfulness. The essence of the program is to comfort someone out there who is hurting, who is passing through challenge, who is saying life has dealt with me a big blow and I don't know where to go from here. Well, listen, this program is for you. By the time we are done listening to the stories we'll have on this platform, you will have reason to rise again. It's a program for the battered soldier. It's a program for the downtrodden man and woman out there. And we want to give you back life. We want to give you hope. We want to tell you that there's still reasons to live some more because God has not given up on you. Provided there is life, there is hope. The Bible will always tell us that a living dog is better than a dead lion. Yes. So if you have life in you, rejoice, child of God, because you can always come out of that challenge. No matter what it is, you can always conquer that challenge. So we're here today with our program, beautiful program, Solace for the Hurting. All right, without much ado, we will move forward to our promo, our commercials. We'll be right back. Don't touch the dial. I'm still here. You're going to hear the next voice, and that will be the story for the day. You wouldn't want to miss it for anything at all. Just listen. Here.
Kingdom Lady, you are not alone. Join us every Saturday for Solace for the Hurting.
All right, you're welcome back. We're still on this program, Solace for the Hurting. And I've told you what this program stands for. In case you're still joining us, you're just joining us. This is Family Love FM, and we're on our program, Solace for the Hurting. Today we have a special guest in the house, and is a female, a she, a beautiful woman there. You would love to see. On our Facebook page, she's there, and she has a beautiful story. Today, every episode will come with a beautiful name. At the end of the day, we're going to ask questions. So pay attention so that you'll be the one to win our beautiful gift for today. So today, I have a special friend in the house. She's a coach for the teens. Yeah, professional children teens coach. And she has come to share with us her life story. And her name is Pastor Mrs. Margaret Nmekini. Yes, Pastor Mrs. Margaret Nmekini is right here live in the studio. So the next voice you'll be hearing is Pastor Margaret. Pastor Margaret, good evening and welcome to Solace for the Hurting.
Thank you so much. Good evening, listeners.
Thank you very much. See that sound of a beautiful voice there? So she's going to thrill us with our story today. So listen, I know what she's going to share is something that many people are passing through and they don't know how to come out. So listen, today the bondage will be broken. So today we're looking at broken bondage. Broken bondage. That is the episode we are looking at today. So the next story you'll be hearing is from Pastor Margaret. So Pastor Margaret, let's meet Pastor Margaret and tell us what happened to you in the time past.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. like I've introduced myself, I'm Pastor Mrs. Margaret Nmekini. I want to share my story, and I want to begin with how I rejected God. During my school days, I think I was in class 2 then. I used to go to church, but I never had an encounter with.
Sorry, let's get this class 2. You know, we don't understand what is class 2 now. Is it JSS 2 or
JSS 2.
Oh, beautiful JSS 2
Of then.
All right.
So I was brought up in a Christian home, but something made me to stop going to church, even though I had not had an encounter then. My mother had a best friend, and one of our holidays, we went to my village, and one of the days she called us, I and my younger brother, and told us a story, and said her best friend has lost all her children. She had 4 children. Her best friend had 4 children. And what really happened? She said that the woman, her best friend, had issues with her own husband and decided to move to stay with her brother. And one fateful day, the children were sleeping. Not that there was any outbreak of fire anywhere. There was not NEPA disconnection or anything. The generator just by the house caught fire, and it roasted those 4 children. They were all sleeping. It was a weekend. All effort to stop this fire was to no avail. Then the children died. And this, my mother's best friend's brother is known for evil. So there was speculations that he has taken them for rituals. And my mother was hurting. It pained her, and it pained me too. I was very, very young then. It pained me. I wondered. I was just imagining how those 4 children were burnt, roasted to ashes, and nothing was done. I kept it to myself, and we joined hands with my mother, and we mourned, and we went and greeted the woman later. Then one of the Sundays, we went on holidays. One of the Sundays, this diabolical man came to church, and as we were there, and it was testimony time, he now came up with a testimony how God has preserved his life, how God has prospered him, how God has elevated him, and in fact, he's so rich now. Where I sat, I said, God, so you are seeing this man giving this kind of testimony and nothing is done. With my young heart, I wanted God to just take him away. But the way he gave the testimony, and there was ovation, it was like everybody was happy. In fact, I was so angry, and I made up my mind. I said, okay, if this is all about church, that evil can be done and gone away with, I will no more go to church. My mother didn't know about my decision, but my action showed. After holidays, we went back to Calabar, and I continued. So every Sunday became the day I play Ludo, wash my clothes, I can play Scrabble game from morning till night. I engaged myself so much, and that was how I was living my life without God. I hated righteousness. I hated everything about God, but I didn't know that God was the ultimate. So when I finished my school, I now got a job. I worked for several years, no promotion, and I'm very intelligent. My friends kept asking, Margaret, what is the problem? You are very intelligent. You are very articulate. What is the problem? Promotion will come out, my name will be omitted. Just like that, years kept going. others will be promoted, I will not be promoted. Then in 1989, I was posted to a Jakarta Steel Company, and in Jakarta, I felt I had everything. Then my war started. Without God, things were tough. I was not promoted again, and I started asking myself questions. And I decided, okay, I'll go to the university. I'll sit for jam. Jam will jam me, and jammed me several times. I will struggle. I will never pass. Then, what really pained me again, I used to have tutorials with some students. I just made up my mind to engage myself, and I brought in some students who wanted to sit for jam, some GCE. I started teaching them English, literature, and to my greatest surprise, some of them came out with A's. That same year I sat for jam, nothing. I didn't pass. I was so bitter. I was so angry. Angry at myself, angry that help had not come. But I didn't know that it is me that was undoing myself. And it continued. Then this particular jam that I sat and I didn't pass, my roommates called me and said, Maggie, enough is enough. I have watched you over the years. You are so intelligent. What is happening? Let us go somewhere. So my friend directed me. Well, I welcomed the idea because I felt solution has come. I felt solution has come.
Wow.
But solution cannot come outside God. And I asked her, I was interested. I said, at least something is coming up. So she now directed me and said the sister-in-law is going to direct me to a babalawo who will now show me the way. In fact, I am going to write the exam with one hand and I will just clear all the papers. I will just pass jam and off I go to the university, which had always been my desire. I love education. I like school. So I accepted. And that fateful day, the man came to Ajakuta to visit me and did some concoction.
The Babalawo came to visit you.
Yes.
Not you going to.
No, first he came.
Okay.
He came. Then he now said he wants to tell me some things. Then from there we commenced the real work according to the real assignment.
Wow.
Then he now brought one big tray, put sand and do some things. I was just looking. I didn't understand what he was doing, but I trusted that at least I am going to have my heart desire. The heart of man is foolish. So after he had finished, he now said, okay, this is what is going to happen, that my elder sister was going to die, that I have to kill a goat. He named some things I have to do quickly so that my sister will not die. And I love my sister, but the problem I had was, the compound we're living, he said, when I kill that goat, I'll have to sprinkle the blood in the compound where we are staying in Calabar. And I was wondering, in somebody's compound, how will I now go around sprinkling blood? How will they see? I was so scared. But I was already there. And I said, okay, I will do it.
Okay, so let me come in here. You went looking for solution to pass your JAMB exam.
To pass my JAMB exam.
And now it's your sister.
It's now my sister that came in. And I was so scared.
That your sister is going to die.
Yes.
My God.
And this is my sister that loves us so much. And she's the one who trained us.
Wow.
I will now say, so my sister would die. But I would have loved to kill the goat. But my fear was, how would the landlord feel if he now sees blood in his compound? That was number one. I now kept it in my heart. I said, okay, I will do it. Then he now said, okay, before I now travel eventually, I should come over. And gave me the address. And one weekend, I was there. I went there, and he told me what to do. First of all, got there was incisions
Incision, okay.
on my hands, on my forehead,
Forehead, okay.
on my legs,
Okay.
and he did some pads, just small pads with strings on it. I think those pads were 2.
Okay.
Then he did some concoctions. Then that blood, one of them was liquid. One of them was liquid. Then he now put the blood, the blood he cut with that razor, because there were part of the things he told me also to bring included goat, razor blade,
Okay.
cola, and all those things.
Wow.
I monetized the goat,
Okay.
and but I bought the razor. So when the incision was done, he now mixed it with one of the concoctions for me, and I took it. And he said, this is how I will be doing the incantation. I don't read the Bible. I don't know how to do incantation. I'm not just used to that kind of style of living. But he did those incantations, and later on said, did I hear? I said, I've heard. He said, okay, when I go home, I should.
So what kind of incantation are you going to be doing when you didn't even know what he was saying?
He said some things, so I repeated after him. He said, anytime I want something, like I'm going to sit for the jam that took me there, I will say those things. I will say those things. And since I really desperately wanted to go to school, I believed him. But what happened was, when I now got home, as I was going, he gave me one of those parts. He said I should go and throw it into the river. I have never been to that river. But I had to trace the river.
He mentioned a particular river for you.
He said the river around that Ajakuta. There's a river, a stream or a river, very far.
Okay.
I had to go. I entered the vehicle, went there, then started climbing some of the hills.
Oh
Jesus.
my God.
As I went there, then threw it into the river. Then came back home. Then it was now time to do the incantation, morning and evening. I didn't remember. I didn't remember to say any of those things.
Okay.
But I mumbled something that first day and stopped. I just made up my mind, no, I won't say anything again. After I can't even remember what he said. After all the things were here. That began my woe. My woe story starts from now. I didn't know God. I didn't love God because of what happened when I was a child, those children that died. But I think it was better for me that I stayed without promotion, I stayed without going to school, than what I started experiencing.
All in the quest for success.
All in the quest for success.
Oh my God.
Then I started, maybe because I couldn't say those incantations. Then those things started reacting.
Okay.
Jesus. I could no more sleep. Morning, no sleep. Night, my eyes would be open. Before then I could sleep. Now I went and bought no sleep to myself. No sleep for myself.
My God.
Then oppression. I don't used to suffer oppression before. My body will be caught. In the morning, I will just see scratches. No, I won't notice it. I started noticing anytime I take my bath, my body will be, will be hot. I'll just be wondering, what is happening to me? Then the oppression shifted. In fact, it didn't shift. It will continue in cutting. Then it will move into my clothes. All my clothes, you will see holes here, holes there. It will be in such a way that you can't even wear. Then as it progressed, my hair, you just see center of my hair will go. At times, I'll just be asking myself.
The hair on your head?
Yes!
Wow.
It will be cut.
Yeah.
It's like somebody used scissors to cut the middle.
Wow.
Then at times, you use scissors to cut somewhere, maybe near the ear or something.
Wow.
I became so scared. I became so scared. I was now asking myself, who will deliver me? Who took me here? The place I kept those things, when it is night, it will be banking. As if somebody is living in that my wardrobe.
Okay, place those things in the wardrobe.
Yes,
and
inside
there will
my
be
wardrobe.
noise in the night.
Yes.
My God.
You will just be here, bang, banking. As if somebody is leaving your door and banking. I wake up. After some time, I started contemplating suicide. I said I would kill myself. That one day I would just run. I was working. I was being paid well taken care of, but no peace. I was just draining. I'm not a fat person, but you realize that I became skinny. I found myself in the hospital. They will search nothing, but I'm drying. I'm dying. I will tell the doctor, but I can't sleep. I didn't remember to tell him all this. Yes, okay. But I was just going. I was just dying. There was one particular injection, it's antibiotics. Once they give me, I will start jerking. So I was left alone. I was left alone to die or to live. Then I remembered that my brother was born again.
Wow.
My younger brother was born again. So I wrote to him. What happened was, in my office, people go to Lagos. Those days there was no internet, no communication. Yes. So people go to Lagos often. He was in Yabatek. So one of those times I wrote to him. I loved his Christianity because he was open. We were sinners, but we were open to tell him our problems. And he will embrace you and give you solution or pray with you. And I said, okay, no matter how dicey it is, I have to tell him. And God made it. He's one of my brothers I love so much. You know, he's my immediate younger brother. So I sent a letter to him. I said, my brother, what I'm passing through, I cannot explain. I told him, I said there is this owl that comes around 5 p.m., 6, it will come. And once that owl comes, there was this one tree just by my window. Once that owl comes and hoots, confusion has started in my body. It will send straight arrow into my heart. My sister, I told him, I said, this is what I'm passing through. And I'm contemplating suicide. I want to die. I want to die because I can't sleep. The Bible, the small Bible I had, I will put it under my pillow. In the morning, I will find myself on the floor.
Who carried you to the floor?
I will know. Okay. Strange hands. Okay. I will find myself on the floor. At times I will walk, I will see that owl. I was helpless. And I made up my mind that December I will die. Wow. I will just commit suicide. It's either I will run into a car or drink poison. My parents didn't know what I was passing through. So after I've written to him, he now said, okay, that he was going to be in Calabar. I should meet him there. I should come with all those concoctions. I put them in one container. So I packed the concoction and went to meet him. So the very first day I arrived, they had a program in their church. You know, I've not given my life. Yeah. And I didn't just know, I was still having hatred for God and righteousness. So he now said, can I join them? I said no. That I was there in the house. It's a 3-day program that one of the days I will just, since I'm on annual leave. That day, I was sleeping just by, and I went to my sister's house and he was there too. So he and my sister went for the program. So just by the window, around 12 in the night, midnight, I saw a man with very big bulging eyeballs that sent a whistle. He just blew a whistle. I don't know whether through his nose or he held a whistle. And this whistle entered me. I was sleeping. I jumped up from where I was sleeping, and with my wrapper, I just tied my wrapper immediately and ran to the main road. I stood by the main road till past 12 when they came back from church.
Okay, it was a vigil?
They had a vigil.
Okay.
It was a program that rolled into 11 o'clock, and I think they didn't get a vehicle because they were two, and many other people, they were now strolling home. So they saw me outside with wrapper tied on my neck. He now screamed, "What are you doing here?" I said, "Somebody whistle." As I was lying, that whistle, I kept hearing the whistle in my ears, my 2 ears. He now said, "Okay, let's go home." And I followed him. My heart was strong because I know at least he knew God. So we went home, and I believe the God in him covered me that night. There was nothing like oppression, but I slept. My sister. Then, in the morning, he now sat me down. He said, "Where are those things?" I now brought them. Just the way they gave me, I brought them. I now started telling him the experiences. Meanwhile, as I was talking, I was hearing that whistle, my 2 ears and in my heart. It was like a dart. It was like a dart. And I believe that place I went, they really captured my spirit.
Wow.
Yes, they captured my spirit. So he ministered to me that day. He showed me how awful and how angry God is with as many as go to idols, and as many as go to maybe babalawo, herbalists, in fact prefer another God. He showed me in the Bible, and I said, wow. That it gave me a scripture that touched me. He said, and the Bible said, "She that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth." I said, where is it in the Bible? He said, 1 Timothy chapter 5 verse 6. I can't forget that scripture. I said, is it in the Bible? He said, yes. I said, what does the Bible mean? He said, you are alive, but you are dead. He said, you think you are in pleasure, but you are dead. He said, the devil will just move, and look for who he will destroy. And that is what you are passing through. The devil wants to destroy you. And I said, but can I come out? My sins are many. He said, yes. He said, you can come out. The hand of Jesus is open wide.
Okay, the hand of Jesus.
He said, the hands of Jesus are open wide to accept you. I said, the way I am, it's a long time I went to church. He said, it's not church issue. You see, you can be going to church without knowing God. It's because you go to church and because you don't know God, that is why you went to another God to help you. I said, is that right? He said, yes.
Okay, let me cut you in now. All these things were happening. Did you write the JAMB to pass again? Since you went there for the success and this.
In fact, thank you. You've reminded me. That particular year, I wrote JAMB, I didn't pass. I wrote again, I didn't pass.
My God.
I was so bitter. I think these were the things that made me to think of suicide. And I will be hearing in my heart, go and commit suicide. Life has gone. Go and commit suicide. Nobody can help you. Your parents can't. Nobody.
All right, I noticed that you did something in the midst of all this, which everybody needs to know. You know, a problem shared is half solved. You remembered your brother and decided to send a letter to him.
Yes.
And he said, come.
Yes.
Imagine if you didn't tell anybody, you would have committed suicide.
I was prepared.
And you know, some persons are in this kind of position now. They are not ready to talk to anybody, which is very, very wrong. You should look for somebody to talk to.
Yes, you should look for somebody to talk to. It's because, number one, I was not going to a church. If I was going to a church, probably I would have gone to my pastor to cry on his neck. Oh, pastor, look at what I did, though. But God made it that we had a light in the family. So I remembered, because within that time, the man that took me there came and said, how far? Are things working? I said, no, that what I'm passing through. And he now said, okay, let's go again. I believe my brother was now praying for me. I've told him.
Yeah.
He was now, I believe he was praying, interceding for me. I told him, no, that I want to go to God. I didn't even know how I would go, but that's what I told him. I said, I want to try God.
Wow. I hope you are paying attention to the story. Such an intriguing story this evening. I'm really enjoying myself here. And I noticed something. I've learned something. When you have a problem, learn to share. All right, we will play you this song. We will be right back. The story has not finished, so keep paying attention. Just listen to this one. It's coming from Andrea Daly. Alright, when we come back now, we'll open the phone lines. The story is still.
Yes.
While we're talking on the phone, we'll still be sharing.
Okay.
Well, you make it brief because the time. And
You
you've
know,
given us the whole
yes.
flesh of the story.
I just want to
So,
bring
the
how I now,
salvation
yes,
part.
the salvation, which is
So
very,
we'll
very
round it
important.
up. Pastor Margaret here decided to rise up. She decided to write her brother, and the story continues. So you will rise. You listening to us, you will need to rise. Tell
Amen.
somebody about that challenge,
Amen.
and let's see the solutions just right by the corner. All right, Pastor Mark, let's conclude this hour before we open the phone lines. So you're going to call us and share how this story has affected you. But before we do that, just give us the concluding part. How did it end?
So, when I met Francis asked me to go back to Ajakuta and identify with the church, and I should give my life to Jesus, because he has already shown me in the scripture that Jesus' hands are wide open to accept me. So when I traveled back, I made up my mind. Before this time, I hated righteousness. I didn't just love church and people of God. So I made up my mind, and that particular night, it was like I was going to pass on. But I believe people were interceding for me. And I went to church,
Wow.
interdenomination in Ajakuta there, and I gave my life to Jesus.
Wow.
I gave my life to Jesus, and my life turned. That same year, I passed all the exams.
Okay, that's good
I went
news.
to school.
Oh, that's the great news.
Do you know, that same day, I gave my life on the 28th day of January 1990. The owl came in the afternoon. I can remember what happened. It was on a Sunday. It came around 5:30 p.m. And I went out. I pointed at it and said, Jesus has set me free, and I'm free indeed.
Wow.
That was the beginning of a new life.
Oh, this excitement is contagious.
I have experienced death, and I've experienced life. When the scripture says you are translated from the kingdom of darkness to the kingdom of his dear son, things changed. The house I was living was sparkling. I went to the office the next day. One of our officers saw me and said, Margaret, something has happened to you.
Wow.
Jesus.